Hi guys, welcome to Crazy Burger. Today we're going to be on the Evercade again, looking at California games from 1989 on the Atari Lynx Collection 2. Now this game is very tricky to get a hold of and master, but it's part of the high score challenge on the Facebook unofficial fans group page this month through April, and let's have a look at it now. So, California games is broken into 4 separate sort of mini games or disciplines, whatever you want to call them, and all of them are very different, and all of them are pretty tough, and it takes quite a while to get even half decent at them and knowing how to actually play the games. Now this California games has been released in many formats over the year. I may have well played the C64 version back in the day. But let's have a look at the Atari Lynx collection, the Atari Lynx version now. So these are my current high scores, which see you've got 4 disciplines. You've got BMX, surfing, halfpipe and footbike, and they're all pretty hard. The instruction manual doesn't really tell you too much information on what you're supposed to do. It gives you an idea, but you really have to work out a lot yourself, which you'll see in a minute. Let's have a look at, let's start with the top and we'll work our way down. So BMX, let's have a look. So you see you've got your jump button, you've got sort of another button that you can do sort of twirls like that, but you tend to spend a lot of time like this, crashing, hitting things, not doing it. So you need to quickly press A to get back up again as soon as you sort of crash, which, you know, as you can see, happens frequently. And I have to be honest, it's it is unbelievably difficult to actually be good at it. And I just feel the collision detection just a little bit off again. I feel as if I spend most of my time, you know, doing nothing, crashing. You can see it's tough, very tough. I've got to the end. Basically, you need to get to the end of the level. If you do get to the end, you tend to get a bonus score. So it's important to sort of finish the game, but it's important to obviously rack up as much point as you possibly can. Tricky as to get a really decent score on this. And then you've got the big massive drop, which generally I tend to find I just spend most of my time falling down. I just find it impossible. And yeah, it's massively frustrating, but I just feel as if I'm pressing the buttons and nothing happens. Yeah, frustrating. So that wasn't a good first round. But you see, I've not really done a heck of a lot much better. I don't think the maximum score is that much higher than this anyway. But if you're just sort of looking for high scores, then this probably isn't the one to spend too much time on. But you could probably practice a lot, so you can zoom through the level quickly, but not really racking up a lot of points. You can sort of, if you sort of go up the side, you can tend to miss a lot of the obstacles. But it kind of defeats the point a little bit, because you get more points by jumping over the obstacles. Let's see. You get more points for doing tumbles and jumping and all sorts of crazy stuff. Easier said than done. But yeah, this adds up to being an extremely tough game. And like I say, very tough to master. I'm not sure that many people will master this game. You just end up having so much stunts and mistakes. Wow, yeah, tough. Some runs I've done better than others, that's for sure. I mean, that's great, but it's not really getting a lot of points. Hopefully if we can try and get to the end of the level here, it may sort of double my score up a little bit. Yeah, here we go, I think we're near the end. Yay! You can see you tend to jump up and get some bonus points at the end, depending on how long you've took to finish it. But yeah, I never even got to my top 3 score there. So let's have a look at the next discipline. Let's have a look at surfing. And I'll admit, the first few times I played this, I just done nothing, just like that. Because you really, so you press A to start, you really take ages to figure out what do you do. You really need to just slowly build up your score, try and get some 360s without failing. I've generally got the hang of this a little bit. It's all about taking your time, building it up gently, turning the sort of surfer slowly until you build up some speed, right, and you can try and spin faster. It's tricky though. I mean, it's very, very tricky. Just have a little bit of patience, then eventually you get some air and keep twirling. Again, if you press the A button, you can maybe spin faster. As you see, you can get a little bit of a bigger score. But it takes a lot of patience and time to master. I'm definitely not brilliant at it, that's for sure. I'm going to crash. Yeah. So the more points you try to rack up, generally you can fail a lot easier. So yeah, start off slowly, build up some speed, and let rip. You get double 360s, quadruple 360s is probably possible too. But I'm definitely no expert at it, that's for sure. I'm definitely got better. I mean, I have a little bit extra practice and you can rack up a fairly decent score. But it takes a lot of practice to get anywhere on that one. Next we have half pipe. The half pipe's the one is probably I've found the most difficult to master. And most of the time I've done absolutely nothing. I mean nothing. And it's all about when you press up and down on the D-pad. So you press A, you can press B as well to do a sort of hand plant at the top of the thing, but it's very tricky to pull off. But I generally just wait till you're sort of on the ramp and then press A, and you sort of do a little twirl about and you get some points. But the trick to getting air, to get the big points, is how and when you press the up and down buttons. And you eventually, once you get a bit of patience and press at the right time, you might get some air, as we try and see here. As you can see, you build it up gently, get some air, and then this is when you start to rack up some larger points. But yeah, the higher you get, the more you hold down the button, the better points you'll get, the more points. And it's tricky, Took me a while to even get this. I mean, it probably took me the best part of a week to figure out how to actually get this type of air, but this is by no means amazing scoring. I'm only kind of half decent at it, I think. You can see this run's actually not too bad at all. A little bit of practice, I reckon you could probably get a really, really decent score on that. And that score's actually not bad at all. Not quite my highest, my second highest, which isn't bad. So let's try again. I'll maybe try and explain how I managed to sort of get some air. So you start off pressing A, so hold down until you get to the halfway point, and then push up. So down, up now, and then press the A button to sort of swirl about. So down, now up, and then push out. So keep doing that and build your momentum. So you press sort of up at the halfway point here. Okay, if you press up here, so previously we've been pressing down, then press up, and you should slowly build up some momentum. Just keep doing that, and you'll eventually get some air. It's just about timing. Just keep persevering and do it. Don't fall down like that, and you will eventually get some air. It's very tricky to pull off. I mean, like the manuals don't tend to tell you how to actually do that, which is kind of frustrating, so you need to generally try and figure out how to do that. I think a tutorial or a help would be fantastic to be able to help you here. Give you an idea of what to do, because otherwise most people are going to be doing zero here, like me. But yeah, probably the toughest one to master for sure, to get a decent score. So last one is footbag. Now this is probably the simplest one, but again, to master it is probably extremely hard. So you've got a footbag, I guess, or some kind of ball beanbag, and you just keep press A and try and keep it in the air as much as you possibly can. You hit the seagull, you get extra points, but careful you don't hit the beak or it sends it off course, and then you have to adjust your character like this. But yeah, so if you continually keep the beanbag up, footbag, sorry, then the score just keeps going up. As soon as you drop it, the score goes back to 0. And depending when you hit the button, you head it, you hit your knee off it, you foot, you know, but yeah, you get the gist of it. Just basically try and keep in the air, just keep pressing the button and keep going as best as you can. But it's massively tricky. It's possible to get a really high score. Personally, I'm not very good at this one. I was really just bashing the button and hope for the best. And lastly, you can also do a twirl like this and try and keep it up that way, but I'm not really mastered that one yet. You can do it backwards, you just end up looking silly. But it's possible if you keep doing some of those sort of things, you can rack up a good score. See, you need to sort of maneuver your character to make sure you keep it up. And that's that. But I said this one is hard, but it's probably the most simplistic one to actually learn. You just try to keep up a beanbag, so it's not difficult. But getting a big score, that's definitely difficult. So guys, thanks for watching the video today. Please like, subscribe, man. We'll catch you again next time. Bye for now.